Hi everyone, Dana here again with more Tuesday tips for leaders of volunteers. It is June. Happy Pride to everybody. And this is the topic this week, Pride and Prejudice. About a year ago, I did a video on rainbow washing and how we in the queer community really see right through that stuff. And we know a good ally with an inconsistent, wishy-washy, fake rainbow washing ally. But unfortunately, since then, the rhetoric and the violence targeting especially trans community, but really the queer community, LGBTQIA plus in general, has increased. Unfortunately, clicks and hate equal engagement on social media. So a lot of social media platforms are centering that because it stirs up engagement and it stirs up clicks and it makes them money. So to not have that kind of crass approach to things in general, bigotry is bad for business, especially for nonprofits where we want as many types of people to be able to support our organization as volunteers, as donors, as voters, as advocates, as ambassadors. It is helpful and really the only sustainable strategy of an agency to want a wide audience, as wide and diverse of an audience or talent pool or donor base as we can possibly get. So bullying and bigotry is bad for business. And we also know that there are consistently majority of population in Western countries, I'm filming this in the United States, support civil rights, human rights, across the spectrum, across the rainbow spectrum, for women, for body autonomy, for anyone that we want to mention that is a historically oppressed or excluded group from power structures in society. So it's a pretty common tactic for the last 100+ years of far-right or authoritarian bigots and bullies to target a small, helpless percentage of the population to try to divide communities and stir up trouble. And unfortunately, because it can be profitable online for a lot of social networks to do this, it's being encouraged. So there's a really negative, hateful feedback loop that is very prevalent right now. It's hard to avoid. So here is why it's much better to not just be pushed by whatever winds of change are happening in your community and not buy into any of the stochastic rhetoric that is occurring, and certainly to not to be on the side of bigots and bullies. So especially for nonprofits struggling to find more volunteers, more donors. I'm hearing that very consistently. That's still a number one problem for a lot of organizations, is just not enough people, not enough funding. Having that diversity of audience and that trust built with your entire community, the full range, the full rainbow, the full spectrum of people in your community is more important than ever. And I've mentioned in other videos that I think trust is the currency of volunteer engagement and donor engagement, and really anything that a nonprofit or even government agencies are interacting with, serving, working with their community, you have to have that basis of trust and relationship building, and that leads to that real, sincere, deep engagement and participation. So it's really bad for business to purposefully alienate at least 10% of the population in a community if you're with an organization that does not directly have its mission or cause supporting civil rights or LGBTQIA community. You may think, oh, you know what? This doesn't really have anything to do with me or organization, so I'm just gonna stay neutral. I'm gonna stay out of it. Well, neutrality only helps oppression and oppressors. And you're not actually neutral. If you think that you do not have any gay people anywhere on the rainbow spectrum, non-binary, gender, sexuality, if you think that you don't have anybody who would identify themselves in the queer community in your organization, you are very, very likely to be wrong. It just means that you don't know about it because someone doesn't trust you, or the culture of the agency doesn't allow people to bring their authentic selves to the work that you're doing. So hopefully you have been engaging in some diversity, equity, access, inclusion, how that ties together with justice type of work in the last several years, as many organizations have, and you're kind of learning. It's a learning journey, and you've got that awareness that, yeah, the widest possible audience of supporters, advocates, volunteers, and donors is better for business, is better for our nonprofit, is better for our mission impact in the short term, medium term, and for long term sustainability. And we are all connected. There's a lot of complex problems happening in the world right now, locally, nationally, globally, and it really takes as many intersectional axes of groups working together as possible to solve these complex issues. So there's no easy answers other than to stand up to bullies, push back against bigotry, say something if someone's making a joke that's punching down at a protected group or a certain group of people. You know, it really does take speaking up and having the courage to confront this to have long-term success and maintain and keep building on the trust in communities that are so essential. It's very essential to have trust in deep engagement for volunteers and for donors. So again, bigotry is bad for business. Giving into bullies is bad for business. So I hope that you are able to celebrate and be proud this month for everyone in your community. And I also hope that you join me next week for more Tuesday tips, and we'll see you then. Take care.